Hey, I'm Michael Blank. I'm a full-time entrepreneur, investor, and coach. I'm passionate about helping others become financially free with real estate in 1 to 3 years. Through my investment company, Nighthawk Equity, I control over $300 million of real estate. But more importantly, I've helped students acquire over 14,000 units at the time of this recording. So hit that subscribe button and notification bell now so you don't miss the next video in this series called The Ultimate Guide to Financial Freedom with Real Estate. Let's do this. I remember when I started flipping houses in 2005, I signed up with a local mentor who taught me how to put up bandit signs and send postcards. Not once did he say I should check the MLS for deals. Not knowing any better, I followed his advice and got my first 2 deals in the first 3 months. It's a little bit similar today. Deals aren't going to fall into your lap. You know it's a numbers game with real estate, right? So the more offers you make, the quicker you'll do your first deal. And now you know how to make an offer in 10 minutes so you can make many offers quickly. Now some gurus will teach you how to market the probates or send yellow letters to apartment owners or network with attorneys. All of these tactics can work, but I found they can take time and cost money. There's a better way, and that will get you the best deals faster with less work. So let me share with you the number one way to find the best apartment building deals. And that is through a good network of commercial real estate brokers. So we're going to call them CRE brokers, for commercial real estate brokers. These brokers make it their business to find deals. The good ones send postcards and letters to apartment building owners, and they build relationship years before an owner wants to sell. They network and they beat the pavement to get listings and buyers. Now for years, the local Marcus Millichap broker, for example, when I had my deal in Washington, D.C., they would call me like clockwork every 3 months and checking on me. They'd sometimes offer to take me out for lunch or do an informal appraisal of my buildings to assess what they were worth. No strings attached, of course. Now this guy's smart. He may not get a listing today, but he may get one down the road, or maybe I'll buy one of his listings. Now unfortunately, most brokers are not that good, right? The few good ones are worth their weight in gold though, and all you need is a few of them to have a never-ending supply of good deals. I remember when I was marketing for deals in Texas, this was back in 2007, and while I did send out a lot of letters, I did do that. It was a lot of work, cost a lot of money. I didn't get a single deal for several months out of that. So I focused heavily on cold calling brokers. And over several weeks of this, I noticed that a few brokers actually took me seriously and had deals on a regular basis. And what they did is, in addition, they communicated frequently, and while other brokers did not. I found one broker in particular who fed me deals almost on a weekly basis. So the advice is the following. Focus your efforts on finding just 2 to 3 brokers. And these are, prolific deal makers that take you seriously, and you are set for the rest of your real estate investing career. All right, here's how I'm going to tell you how to find the best brokers. One of the best ways to find these brokers is to go on LoopNet. Okay, loopnet.com. Now here you're saying LoopNet is worthless for finding deals. Maybe you heard of LoopNet, and that is mostly true, but it's a gold mine for finding the commercial real estate brokers. So here's the approach I use to find brokers on LoopNet. It's free to create an account, so just go in there and then search for the kind of buildings you want to buy in the area you want to buy, and then create a spreadsheet. Capture the contact information of each of the brokers who have listings, and then after doing several, you see some brokers over and over again. And I track how many listings a broker has on LoopNet. The more listings, the better. I then cold call the brokers and use a script from tip number 1 that we already did. Educate yourself. And tip number 1 was to educate yourself so you don't sound like a newbie. And so use that script. And if the deal on LoopNet doesn't quite match my profile, that's okay. I'll say something like, hey, I saw your listing on LoopNet. That deal doesn't really work for me, but here's what I'm looking for. What else do you have? Now, I may tell the broker what I'm looking for and learn a little about him or her too, and then I see how the broker interacts with me and what his or her deal flow is. I find an in-person meeting is a good next step if you think the broker is one of the better ones. I track all this activity on a spreadsheet, and over time, you'll see a few brokers bubble to the top. I'm going to give you 3 tips for working with brokers to maintain good deal flow. But brokers can be surprisingly difficult to work with because many of them don't respond to you. They don't even send you a deal when they have one. Therefore, it is your responsibility to make your relationship as productive as possible. So here are 3 tips I've found to be helpful in maintaining a steady deal flow from your network of brokers. But first, if you're enjoying this video, hit that subscribe button, please. So tip number 1, be persistent. For some reason, most brokers don't respond to your first attempt at contacting them. I normally try a sequence of email, phone call, text message to try to get that first response. If after 3 to 5 attempts you still don't get a response, It's time to scratch that broker off your list and move on. Tip number 2, be responsive. What I mean by responsive is that when a broker sends you a deal, respond to the broker with feedback within 48 hours. When I say feedback, I mean you're making them an informal 10-minute offer for every deal that you get. My brokers have told me that they hear back from about 25% of the people on their list. So if you're responsive, you're going to instantly bubble up to the top of their buyers list. Another benefit of being responsive is that the broker learns what kind of deals you like and don't like, and that leads to off-market deals. Tip number 3, be consistent. Stay in touch with your brokers on a regular basis. Send them an email, text, voicemail every 2 to 4 weeks so they know you're still there. Remind them of your deal criteria, send them a useful blog post or article that you found that might be helpful to them. So this is the holy grail of working with brokers, and that is off-market listings. So let's talk about that next. You're communicating consistently and promptly with brokers, and maybe you meet them in person for lunch or to tour a property. Now, over time, what happens is the broker will know exactly what kind of deal you're looking for and begin to view you as a serious buyer. Now, when the broker is working on a new listing, he may call you up and say, "Hey, Michael, I'm working on a new listing. I think it fits your profile, what you're looking for, perfectly. I won't have the listing signed yet for a few weeks, and the marketing package won't be ready, but I'll send you the rent roll and financials. Take a look at it and see if you want to make an offer before it hits the market." Now, what just happened here? Magic just happened, okay? Because you just got an off-market deal called a pocket listing or, whatever, off-market deal because the broker hasn't yet marketed the deal to the masses. In other words, you're not competing with the world for this one deal. This is the holy grail of broker relationships, earning your broker's trust and becoming one of their preferred buyers so that they bring off-market opportunities to you before everyone else sees them. Now, getting to this takes time, but it doesn't take years. It takes maybe weeks or so, a couple months. But once you get to that place, and you will, all you need is 1 or 2 good brokers. You can have as many deals as you can handle. If you need more deal flow, and you've already talked to every broker in town, here are a few other ways to find deals. Property managers can be a great source of deals. They're ultimately familiar with their properties and usually the first to know when the owner is getting tired and wants to sell. So as you network with property managers, as you should, to build your team, ask them periodically if one of their owners is interested in selling. Ed Hermson was one of those guys back in podcast episode 48, really long time ago. That's how he found his first 2 deals that way. Direct mail is another way to generate leads by sending letters to apartment owners. We talked about that earlier. You can purchase lists from list brokers like listsource.com, and you can have a company print and mail the letters for you like yellowletters.com. The disadvantage is that direct mail costs money and takes time, and the response rate typically isn't very high. But since there are only a limited number of apartment owners in any one city, it's possible to send them a letter every 3 months on a limited budget. Another good idea to finding deals is joining an apartment owners association. That's where other owners go, and it's a great way to not only find potential sellers, but potential buyers, partners, and other professionals who can help you. Driving for dollars can also yield results. If you see a rundown complex, you're driving around, it's a sign that's being mismanaged and has problems. If there's a for rent sign, call on it and ask to speak with the owner or the property manager. They might be very glad to hear from you. So I recommend starting with commercial real estate brokers because that will give you the fastest results. Again, once you know every broker in town and need more deal flow, then you consider tapping into some of these other ways to find deals. Apply the 4 secrets to getting started with apartment building investing today. Most real estate investors considering getting started with apartment buildings, they struggle with one of more of these challenges. Number 1, I don't have any experience, and so I'll wait. Number 2, I don't have the money, and so I'll wait. Number 3, I don't know how to get started, and so I'll wait. And number 4 is, I don't know how to find good deals, and so I'll wait. Now, I hope you can see how you can overcome each of these challenges by educating yourself, and with that, using the scripts, building your team, so that you can appear much more experienced than you really are and you don't sound like a newbie. The raising money part, okay, is that's how you're going to overcome your lack of money. You're going to raise it from others. And you're going to get started by learning how to analyze deals, using the 10-minute offers with confidence, and then, of course, building relationships with brokers who will feed you all the deals that you need. Now that you know the 4 secrets to overcoming each of these challenges, you can start your journey toward financial freedom with apartments today. You can skip the house flipping, the house investing start. Look, no more excuses. You can do this. You have all the tools you need to succeed. And next, I'm going to give you a clear plan of action so you'll know exactly what to do to close your first deal in the next 12 months or even sooner. And once you do, the law of the first deal will put you on a path to retirement in 1 to 3 years. If you're looking for some more support to finding your first deal, go ahead and book a call with my team at themichaelblanc.com/call. We'd love to help you out with getting started. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell now so you don't miss the next video where I give you a clear plan of action so you'll know exactly what to do to close your first deal in the next 12 months or sooner. And once you do, again, that law of the first deal will kick in and give you financial freedom in 1 to 3 years. Let me know your thoughts in the questions or any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.